Catherine Brunson had always been fascinated with magic. She was now 17, but began performing magic tricks from her childhood years. She spent much time deciphering the greatest of magicians, and even creating her own new tricks. She wasn't slow in figuring that it was just a deception to the eye, a diversion from reality. It was in fact easier to deceive an adult crowd than it was to deceive children, as children never tended to focus where the magician wanted the audience to focus. You never know when a kid in the crowd would scream out, "Hey, I saw you take that out of your back pocket." And yes, we all know who that kid was, Catherine. To this day, not a single magician had shown an illusion that could get past Catherine's eye. Except for Zachary Vane. He was young and charming, probably the #1 feature he used to distract his audience away from his actual trick. Catherine wasn't one to be fooled by good looks. However, when she saw him perform, she was befuddled by his illusions. He was better than any of the world's renowned magicians there ever was. You can fool the others, Zachary Vane, but you're not fooling me. Catherine spent the next week trying to figure Zachary's tricks. "Catherine, why are you so obsessive about these things? Chill out, enjoy the show." "You think I can't do what he did?" Andy, Lily, and Hugh folded their arms and looked at Catherine. "All right, give me a water bottle. Any water bottle." Andy took his water bottle from his bag and gave it to Catherine. "You didn't drink it, right? I don't want backwash in my mouth now." Yeah, enough beating around the bushes. It's a new bottle." Catherine cracked it open, letting everyone hear the snap of the seal. She took a sip and closed it again. "Perfect. Sweet and cold," she said as she gave the bottle a shake. "And even better, fruit punch." Andy took the bottle of red fruit punch. All the friends stared at it. "No way." "What's the trick, Catherine?" Catherine chuckled. "I thought you said not to ruin the fun." "Come on, tell us." "A simple hidden concentrated tablet. You can get these online or at a magic shop. Zachary must have slipped it into the bottle when he opened the cap. Drinking it, talking, and moving around the bottle was all to distract the audience." "Cool, but what about the lily he gave me?" "The lily?" Catherine could do the rose into lily trick with her eyes closed, but what was confusing was that Lily, her friend, wasn't set up. It was a piece of cake to change the flower, but how could he have a lily prepared beforehand if he didn't know Lily's name? But this one was rather one of the smaller tricks. The best illusion of the night was the trick of time dilation. How could it be possible to make time slow down or freeze? That was something impossible, something that couldn't be manipulated, time itself. On the next weekend off, Catherine returned to Loveland, where Zachary was performing outdoors by Lake Boyd. She joined the crowd, squinting her eyes to see Zachary by the lake. He cupped his hands into the water. To Catherine's amazement, he picked up the water as if a bubble. It seemed as if Zachary were controlling it with his hands. But that was far little compared to what he did next. Zachary threw the water bubble into the lake. And at once the waters of Lake Boyd parted into two. The crowd started roaring and cheering Zachary's name as they ran to witness the surreal event. It's like this man has powers. How did he control the water? The waters are hovering still like two walls. You can see the bottom of the lake.
Zachary! Zachary! Zachary!
Reporters, journalists, media vans, helicopters all rushed to the scene to capture the event live. Catherine was utterly confused. How could this be just an illusion? And even so, how could this be possible? Zachary motioned the waters with his hands, and at once, the waters of Lake Boyd splashed to its original state. Catherine was left with no words. She couldn't think of any way any magician could pull off a trick like this. After the show, she returned to her hometown in Monte Vista to visit her father. Catherine's mother had passed away when she was a young girl. Catherine had grown up under the care of a single father. Of course, things were difficult, but Catherine's father tried his best to raise his daughter, from learning how to tie her hair to picking out her dresses and hunting down any guy that tried to flirt with his little girl. Catherine moved out last September when she started college in Colorado Springs, but she was homesick within the first 2 weeks. Luckily, the drive from Colorado Springs to Monte Vista was only a few hours, and Catherine easily made her way to stay on the weekends. However, it took much longer to get there this time, all the way from Loveland. She reached the house by night. Her father was happy to see her back. After dinner with him, Catherine plopped onto the sofa. As soon as she turned on the TV, she saw the news anchors reporting Zachary's tricks. Catherine shrugged and turned the TV off again. She had enough of it. How did this guy do what he did? The new magician in town? He's really something, isn't he? Catherine's father came into the room. Just another illusionist to me. He's just got some new tricks up his sleeve. Dad, I'm taking this semester off. I'm going to Loveland to meet this guy, and I'm not returning till I find out all his secrets. Your passion for magic sometimes amazes me, Catherine. All right. If this is what you want to do, then go, and see if you can figure things out yourself. Thanks, Dad. With a little research, Catherine found out Zachary Edivane was traveling with a few people who were part of his magic team on their luxury tour bus. They were staying at a venue by Lake Boyd that was hosting their show for their stay in Loveland. Catherine booked into a hotel nearby. She attended all the shows Zachary hosted, noting down each of his tricks. Catherine even tried to spy on his crew members, but Zachary seemed to perform his illusions on his own. It was on the third day that Catherine got the chance to be one-on-one with Zachary amidst an onlooking crowd. What's your name, beautiful? Do you compliment every girl? You thought I didn't notice you come to see me every day? I can see the magic in your eyes. I don't forget my fans. And what made you think I'm a fan? Oh, alright, then how about I make you a fan? Zachary took out a deck of cards and shuffled them. Pick one. Catherine picked out a card and handed it back to Zachary. Zachary took the card and waved it to the audience without taking a look himself. He placed it back inside the card and shuffled it. Ready? He said, smirking at Catherine. He placed the deck in Catherine's hand. He then motioned his hands over the deck as it spread out, revealing each card. And the card that Catherine had picked flipped over and presented itself without a touch. Well, what can I say? You never cease to impress. The crowd started chanting and cheering.
One more, one more, one more.
Catherine slipped away and watched Zachary from a distance. Over the days that Catherine had been spying on Zachary, she had noticed the crew would be occupied while bringing all items back to the bus. It would be unlocked during that time, the perfect time to sneak a peek. So Catherine took her chances while Zachary was still away and sneaked onto the bus. Maybe she could find something there. A secret notebook to his tricks, at least some clue. To her amazement, the bus was practically empty, apart from some silly fake flowers, handkerchiefs, and whatnot. After searching for about 5 minutes or so, Catherine found no luck. As soon as she heard the storage compartment close outside, she hurried to exit the bus. However, when she got to the entrance, she gasped to see Zachary standing there with his arms folded. "And what do you think you're doing in here?" I just wanted to meet you. Like you said, I'm a fan." "Really?" "Yeah, look." Catherine pulled out a wand that she always carried and waved it in the air. She held it in her palm, squeezing it together as if it was getting shorter until it disappeared. Showing off her empty hands, she suddenly made a rose appear. "Ta-da! You did something similar, right?" "Oh, I remember you. You're Lily's friend, so you're a magician yourself." I prefer to recognize myself as an illusionist, though being called a magician is itself an illusion to the audience. I'd actually come here to ask you, would you teach me how you do all these amazing tricks? I want to learn from you. You mean you want to be my apprentice? Zachary said as he took the rose in his hands and smelt it. "Oh, that's fake." Zachary chuckled. He gave the rose back and turned to walk down the path. As soon as Catherine took the rose, she felt something pierce her finger. She inhaled a beautiful scent. Catherine was shocked to see the rose was real. Real thorns, real petals, but she gave him a fake one. When did he? How did he? All he did was take it in his hands. Catherine ran after Zachary. "Please, I promise, I won't let you down. I'm a quick learner." Catherine stood in front of Zachary and took out a coin. Within a blink of an eye, she turned it into a card. The coin was nowhere to be seen. Zachary raised his brow and watched Catherine perform. Catherine took the rest of the deck out of her pocket and placed the card on top. With a wave of her hand, she instantaneously changed the top card. "I can do a ton of them." Zachary took the whole deck in his hand. He blew on it. It was only a matter of a second. The whole deck disappeared. And now you can't. "Please, Zachary, I traveled all the way here from Monte Vista." Perhaps I can keep you under my wing for a few days." "Thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't know how much this means to me. I've been practicing magic since I was a child, and getting to learn from someone as talented as you means a lot to me." "Then I'll meet you here tomorrow morning," Zachary said before he left. Catherine had been so focused on him that she hadn't realized she was now standing on the circular dock. How could she not realize when he had suddenly brought her here? This was impossible. She furrowed her brows and spun around before she caught sight of Zachary again. Now far in the distance, a huge grin on his face. Catherine smiled back. "I don't know how you do it, Zachary Edavain, but I'll find out your secrets. Now, the magic will begin." Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.